Hello, my name is Antonio. I work at the LGBTQ Center Long Beach as the Youth Services and Transition Coordinator. My pronouns are he, him, his. I think the biggest struggle that youth go through, at least in terms of gender identity, well, at least one of the biggest ones, is sort of this, I guess you can say, complex sort of negotiation with like inner thoughts, because a lot of times we're taught, that there's a super binary system of gender, right? There's, man and woman. We're taught this literally from age 0 on. And not only are we sort of instructed sort of explicitly, but also there's like this implicit instruction as well, right? I think one of the biggest issues from the very beginning is sort of feeling that your identity can be validated and or affirmed in a society where it's already being sort of told to you that it's wrong, literally from the get-go. And so negotiating that growing up, I feel like, is a tremendous effort for a lot of people. I think what's commonly overlooked when discussing gender identity is this understanding that gender is not a binary system. And that's very vague, and I kind of did say that already, but when we kind of like go into it a little bit more, I think there's something really profound about gender, and that gender points to one's inner truth. And so when someone tells you that it's wrong or that it's not understandable, it's funny to me because it's like, well, there's no right or wrong when it comes to someone's identity, number one. And number two, just because it's inaccessible to you does not make it any less valid. So I think that's something that's commonly overlooked. It's like this idea like, oh, I have to understand it. But it's like, no. Let's take a step back for a second, because what you're overlooking here is that this is someone's inner truth and identity that you're trying to sort of challenge. Oftentimes people conflate gender identity with gender expression or expression. So just like I identify as a cis man, right? But my expression is actually more fluid. But that has nothing, my expression actually has nothing to do with my actual gender identity. But a lot of people think that it does. That's a very you're wearing high heels like I am today. You're wearing heels. Oh my gosh, are you trans? Huh? I just liked the shoes, so I got them and I put them on with the outfit. So that just as an example, actually, that's one thing I will say is a struggle for lots of people. It's sort of like either the misperception around someone's gender and or expression solely due to aesthetic and preconceived notions. So in terms of how we offer support, I would say in multiple ways, but literally it's just providing them the space, because even if we can't offer something in-house, we always make sure that we have partners that are able to do it, and we always make sure that they're at the ready. I think that's the very first step, making sure people feel safe and warm and welcomed and affirmed, because honestly, that's respecting individuality and dignity, right? Like, that's why wouldn't we do that? So that's the very first step. And then after that, it's okay, now let's see what we can do to making sure we can accomplish some of the goals that you want to accomplish. And let's work together on that. Well, I don't want to get too morbid, but we know that depression and anxiety, other mental health adversities, are on the rise, particularly for those who are trans-identifying. It's really the LGBTQ community at large, but trans folks in particular are particularly at risk of developing some of these things. And because a lot of that is not just around like the struggle of sort of feeling valid, but it's also the struggle of that, but like ongoing harassment, sexual assault, things like that. And all of those things affect trans individuals at a much higher rate. And unfortunately, the rate is already high in our society. So adding this identity on top of that, making you more prone to experiencing it, it just makes it even sadder, because that is a reality for all of those individuals, which it's like a perpetual state, which creates more anxiety and more stress, right? Having to go in the world navigating, knowing that that's a risk. So yeah, that really weird, it's not a weird expression, but that expression, it gets better. Okay. To be honest with you, I actually that expression, I don't know how I feel about it. But you know what? I will say it gets better, but with a specific caveat, and that there are people out there who are very big allies and who do want to help. For example, we here at the LGBTQ Center Long Beach, we are a few of those people in the world that really do want to make a difference, and we want to be there for people. It gets better, and there are people out there who want to help. Sometimes it just takes a long time to find them, and that sucks, but we're here.
Yeah.
So thank you for interviewing me. Hope to see you and speak with you all soon.